This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
A South St. Louis bar is still in disrepair weeks after a police officer crashed into the building. Today, 5 on your side was there as a city leader apologized to the owner for threatening to condemn the building. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. This morning, the city's building commissioner visited Bar PM in person. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, was there when he arrived. Mark.
And Mike, you don't often find a high-ranking city official inside a bar at 10 a.m., but this morning, the St. Louis building commissioner had good reason to be there on that bar stool.
A lot of trouble has come through the front door at Bar PM lately. First, a police SUV came crashing through, then a letter adding insult to injury.
When somebody crashes through your building and it's the police department, and then you get a letter from the city indicating, you've got 60 days to get your building repaired or potentially face a fine or a condemnation. Yeah. A little upsetting.
But something different came through the door Thursday morning.
Obviously, this business owner suffered something that was, indirectly caused by a city agency.
This time, it was an apology from Building Commissioner Frank Oswald, along with this hand-delivered letter.
It just basically explains that, we are not going to take any action against them, that if they need any assistance, they can call me personally, and I apologize for the confusion, that, I probably should have reached out sooner and let them be aware of that.
While the city and bar owners have a long way to go in court, this personal touch helped calm some frazzled nerves.
I will say that having the commissioner actually take the time out and come down and speak with me directly, I appreciate that versus just a form mail in the letter or letter in the mail.
The bar's next steps include finalizing insurance claims and processing permits for building repairs. The city says it will eventually pick up that tab.
I feel like having the commissioner down here helps. At least I've got somebody I can speak to, and if I feel like I'm threatened again, at least I have a number and feel like I have some support from the city.
The offer to help navigate the insurance claims and permitting process is one sigh of relief for the building owner, but one of the bar owners who rents that property there is scheduled to face a judge in a court hearing tomorrow morning on misdemeanor charges for allegedly shoving an officer in the chest.
Mark, thanks. New at 6, St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy is responding to the crash at Bar PM. It was one of several tough questions we asked him today during a one-on-one interview. 5 on your side's Christine Byers is here with the chief's reaction to some vocal criticism. Christine?
Mike, we covered a lot of ground in my interview today, including why the chief wasn't at the scene of the Bar PM crash to answer questions. Tracy has been the city's top cop for a little over a year now. He celebrates double-digit reductions in the city's violent crime rates, although those drops were expected after crime spiked during the pandemic. He also says he wants his officers to get the attention they deserve, so he isn't always the one in front of cameras. Now, this approach was recently tested after officers slammed into Bar PM and officers weren't given sobriety tests.
If this accident happened down the street and didn't happen at an LGBTQIA+ bar, which drew some attention because there was an arrest afterwards, no one will be calling for a toxicology test or a drug test or an alcohol test on our officers.
Now, again, that was just one part of my interview that lasted nearly 30 minutes. Tonight at 10, much more with the chief, including what he had to say about January's 50% jump in homicides.
Today, St. Louis's Board of Aldermen introduced a new idea to keep St. Louis streets safer. The proposal calls for hiring retired law enforcement to work traffic stops. Over the summer, the department reported being down 270 officers. This new program could help that staffing issue.
We have to have police presence, and we cannot take it away from the more serious crimes, and this is just a way. If they have a murder or break-in or burglary or assault, they spend their time with that, and so there's nobody on the streets making people aware of, hey, I better not do that.
The hope is that the plan would not negatively impact officers' retirement plans and wouldn't require them to work more than 20 hours per week. The idea is still in the early stages. Tomorrow's the last day to vote on how St. Louis should spend the Rams settlement money. It's worth $250 million. The survey includes replacing water mains, improving roads, and funding public schools. You don't have to be a city resident to vote on this. There's a link in the As Seen on TV section on KSTK.com that will send you to the survey link.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey held a news conference in downtown St. Louis today. He outlined his priorities to, quote, protect women and children, close quote, by cracking down on the transgender community. Our Justina Cornell was there. She joins us now in studio with more. Justina?
Well, yeah, Mike, organizations who support trans rights tell me there are better ways to support women and children than the priorities that the AG outlined today.
Missouri's Attorney General Andrew Bailey stands side by side with Riley Gaines.
Yeah, I've been traveling state to state across the nation to really advance legislation that would ultimately preserve and uphold the safeguarding of women, our opportunities, and our privacy in areas of undressing.
Gaines is a former collegiate swimmer who's been against the inclusion of trans women in women's sports. She comes to Missouri as an advisor with Independent Women's Voice and brings a Women's Bill of Rights.
I'm honored to have this hero here with us today as I get ready to sign her Stand With Women pledge to show my personal commitment.
Bailey outlined how he's already investigated a pediatric trans center and created a law against transgender health care.
Recently, my office scored a big win in Wentzville, Missouri. We filed suit in September against the Wentzville School District's Board of Education for concealing a transgender student bathroom policy.
Organizations like Promo, Missouri's LGBTQ public policy and advocacy organization, are against this stance.
It was grandstanding what he considers victories in marginalizing a small portion of Missourians and using that to elevate his platform for his campaign. It's telling that he is fine with telling people that you can't have bodily autonomy. You can't choose the medical care that you need to be able to receive.
Both parties stand firm in their fight for what they believe is right.
There's always work that needs to be done within Missouri.
Right now, there are multiple bills being considered in Jefferson City to limit trans rights, including bills that restrict bathroom use for people who are transgender. Now, those bills advanced this week out of a House committee.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson is one of 15 U.S. governors who will be at the Texas border this weekend. On Sunday, they will discuss border policy and be briefed on the Operation Lone Star mission. That's Texas Governor Greg Abbott's plan to counter a rise in illegal immigration into the U.S. All of the governors who will be in attendance are in the Republican Party.
Whether you use the traditional checkout lanes or the self-checkout lane, your shopping experience is about to change. The new policy starting today at Schnucks.
New at 6, it's only February, but allergy season is closer than you'd think. Why it's already time to restock the Claritin.
And one of the reasons is this afternoon. Temperatures soaring in St. Louis, the second warmest first day of February in the books, as some of us climbed above 70 degrees. That doesn't last this weekend. And while the temperatures go down, so do the rain chances. That's coming up in just a few.